My name is Tyler Willis, and I'm the founder of SEO Burr, a programmatic SEO tool to help you build and manage campaigns. And I wanted to give a quick demonstration of the product in this video. Real quick about the name SEO Burr. So just to give you the background on the inspiration for that. I don't know if you, in the past couple of years, saw any of these GIFs of money being printed, right? But the whole idea was that money printer go burr, right? Or there's another one here, for example. So that was kind of what I was thinking in regards to programmatic SEO. Creating a lot of content in the time that it would take normally to create a little content. And I think a lot of people could be down on programmatic SEO, thinking that you're producing poor quality content. And that is still very important, right? To create high quality content, original content. And with programmatic SEO, you can do that. So it's just important to make sure that you fill the campaigns with a lot of original quality writing, and fill your data with it as well. So SEO Burr, I think, will allow users to do that, to bridge the technical gap that programmatic SEO typically has, and will make it easy for anybody to create and manage programmatic SEO campaigns. So let me just show you real quick how you can go ahead and create a new campaign. So I'm on the website here. I'll just go to log in. And you can see I'm already logged in here. So I have a few campaigns that I've created for various reasons in testing. So I will just click to create a new campaign. And this one, we'll just call it SEO. And we can leave the description blank. That's really just for purposes here of the dashboard, if you want to leave notes for yourself. We can select a website. Now this, we don't have any limits on the number of websites you can have on your account, which I think is great for agencies or freelancers who work with multiple websites. The limits are based on how many page views and the data that you upload, things like that. So in this case, we can select which website we want to load the campaign on. So we'll select mullenashley.com. The URL basically will be like the the landing page of all of our posts. So you just could name this whatever you would like. We'll just keep it as, we can just call it SEO campaign. Now we can go ahead and save that, or we can just continue on down with our data. So we have some kind of starter data in here for you just to kind of you can see how it works and get familiar with it. You can see we have 4 different columns of data, and then right now 2 rows. So these 2 rows would be translated into 2 posts. So if we were to add new, if we were to say accounting, right, for an industry name, that would create a new post after we fill that other information in. We can also click to insert rows, insert 5 more rows. So now we can fill those out. Or we can remove them, right? So I can go back here and I can remove this row. It's asking me if I'm sure, yes. And then basically any row that has content in it will be used to create a new post. You can also upload new data if you already have something like in an Excel or CSV spreadsheet. You can download this data. So if you wanted to save it for later, I can click on that. Open it right up, and you can see we just have it in a CSV file here that we've downloaded. You can also expand the rows. So as you're going through here, it might be difficult to see something like this. So we can click to expand. And basically, it'll expand to however large the content is. And then we'll touch on sitemap in a minute here. But one thing I should point out is the ability that we have here to create lists of data. So if you're writing a blog post, oftentimes there's a list, right, of some sort, within a sentence or whatever, right? So here we can create lists by just putting a comma, and then I'll show you below how we can actually modify that with different conjunctions. So let's just leave this data that we have in here for now and move down to our template. You can see we have a starter template, kind of give you an idea of how things might look. We have some variables already in here, right? So you can see that this industry matches up with this column name industry. We have, person, industry again, challenges, goals, those match up with the different columns. And basically, when we use a variable, right, when we put a variable, like so industry, for example, this right here, it's basically gonna, depending on which post is being displayed, it'll pull in this text value in for instead of the variable. You can add new variables by typing 2 curly brackets and typing the name of the variable and then 2 curly brackets to close it. You can actually click on a variable and you can capitalize the value, make it all uppercase, all lowercase, make it plural. And then for lists, like goals for over here, for example, we can have a conjunction or. So the default is and, right? So the conjunction would be if you have a list, you have multiple items, they would be combined with commas, but then the last 2 would be for this. So in this example, there's only 2. It would say sell more electrical services and get larger clients, right? Well, you don't always want it to be and, sometimes you want it to be or something else. So you can actually set that if you would like, or just leave it blank and it would be and by default. So if I just remove this, click save, now it's just going to be and by default. You can also click this variables drop down or select here and click to add variables this way, but it's currently experimental, as occasionally there's issues where it puts a variable in the wrong spot, which you can still fix by typing in here, moving things around, but we're working on that. But for now, you can just do the 2 curly brackets if it makes it easier for you. And then, of course, you have other options here, right, that you normally would have in a WYSIWYG editor to make the post how you'd like it to be. And then you can click over here from editor to preview, and you can actually see what the post would look like. So you can see here, for example, we have the complete marketing guide for industry capitalized companies. So if I looked at the preview, you can see we've replaced the variable with the actual value from our column over here. And you can see we've capitalized electrical. And you can see down here as well, we had other variables in different places. You can see that we've replaced all of those with the actual text from the data above. You could choose to preview a different post over here, change it to insurance, the second row, and you can also see that over here we've given you some statistics letting you know how unique each of your posts are, and that is dependent on how much text is in the template versus how much text is in the data, right? So the idea would be to have the template, but to try to have as much data populated up here into the template as possible to keep it unique, to keep it high quality. So that's just what we have here so far. You can also see we have the URL in the preview. So again, Mullinansky's website we selected. SEO campaign is the campaign URL that we entered up here. And then the URL of the post would be the value of the first column in the row. Basically, we take it. So if I go over to electrical service, you can see we've added a hyphen. So we basically formatted whatever the string or value is here into like a URL friendly string. So, and then the last piece down here are the meta tags. So we can actually, I have all this stuff open, but we can actually just kind of hide it. It makes it easier to kind of go one step at a time. You can see we have over here the SEO meta tags. Of course, you want to be able to set the title and description. So here you can see we have the variable industry added as well as our title, and then our description is blank. We can just add this is the description just for our purposes today. So now we can go up here. We'll go ahead and publish this, which will turn it on our website. Okay. Now what we need to do is we need to since this is our first time, we need to install this on our website. So if we go to the installation tab over here, you can see we have some information. We have our API key right here. We have links to plugins, and we have instructions if you want to manually install or manually connect to our API, how you can do that, how that would look. So in our purposes, we are going to put this campaign on a WordPress website. So we'll click the WordPress link, and you can see we have our plugin here. We'll click download. Okay, I'll just drag this to my desktop. Now we can go to our WordPress website, and I will click add new. You can also search, this plugin is also in WordPress, so you could actually search in the WordPress catalog. So we'll go ahead and take this, install it. While that installs, okay, here we go. We'll go down to activate plugin, and then if we scroll down to our plugin, you can see we have SEO Burr. We'll click settings. And now we've installed this plugin before, so that's why there was a value there. But this would normally be blank. We would need the API key. So if we come back to SEO Burr in our installation tab, we can grab this value for our API key and go back to WordPress, put it in there, click save. Okay, so at this point, the campaign is live on this website. So unless you put a link to it somewhere on the site, you won't see it, right? Unless you go to it. So let's go back to our campaign SEO and remind ourselves that the URL is molinacci.com/SEO campaign. So let's go over to this, molinacci.com/SEO campaign. And you can see we have like a landing page, right? Basically what we'll do is, what the plugin does is it takes whatever the default post template is for your website and will populate and add the content needed. So, the title, right? So the title is, this is the name of the campaign that we added. This is the last time it was updated. And then here are our 2 posts that we've created based on the 2 rows of data that we previously entered. If we click on one of these, you can see that, again, using the template of your, the post template of your WordPress website, we've basically created a new post on the fly because we went to this URL and populated with our data from our campaign. So in this case, you can see WordPress is taking the title and making that actually the H1 or the header 1 of the page. So if we go back, we see that we want to fix that. We'll go back to our template and we'll just go ahead and remove this since we already have an H1. We'll click save. Go back to our website, and you can see now that's removed and it looks much nicer now. And your post should probably be longer than this. Maybe your font would be bigger, whatever, depending on your WordPress settings, which I think is nice because it'll integrate well into your existing website and not have SEO Burr's branding or whatever, which I think makes it a little bit more seamless. So yeah, and then one other thing we need to do here before we're done with our campaign is go over back to our data tab here and download our sitemap file. So you can see it downloaded a file. We can go ahead and open this up so you can see it here. And you can see a sitemap.xml file. So we've just named it the name of the campaign. That can be changed to whatever you would like it to be. You can see we have 2 posts, right? And so there's 2 URL tags added to this, right? Each one has the website, the campaign URL, and then the post URL. And so depending on however many rows your data has, those posts will be added here as well. You'll then want to take this XML file and upload it to your website, to wherever you keep sitemaps. It's often like the root of your website or like the public HTML. directory, whatever it might be, and then go to search engines like Google and Bing and submit this sitemap to be indexed. And that's a very important step, especially if you're not planning on linking to these posts from somewhere else. It's important that these search engines can still find these pages so that they can index them. But it is a good idea wherever relevant to link to these posts whenever you can, to kind of share that that SEO juice, as some like to say. So that's about all we have right now for SEO Burr. We're constantly making improvements to whether it be the templates and the positionings, or how easy the data is to use. So please try it out. I think that programmatic SEO is a hugely helpful strategy for any business, for any website. So give it a try. And if you're interested in other tools, other products, digital, related to digital marketing, you can go over to zerotodigital.com/products, and you can see we have other products that we've created that might make sense for your business, for your website. Please give those a try. There's also many different free things here that we have, tools and visualizations and resources and whatever. So give those a try, see what might be helpful to you and your business, what might make sense. And we look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.